Hey everyone, so if you're wondering what that was, yesterday I filmed this whole video and then I plugged in this microphone and then it didn't work. So the whole video was just like silent, and the reason for that was because when I got this microphone I just threw away like the box and the manual and everything, and I didn't know that it actually has a battery compartment. So yeah, I was pretty sad about that. But yeah, so the reason why I'm making this video is because it's the end of winter quarter now. I thought it'd be a good time to reflect on winter quarter, look over my goals and see what went well, see what didn't go well, and then also talk about what I want to do in the next quarter. Also, this video might be a good inspiration for you, so that you can reflect on your winter quarter. Hopefully you're also making goals, and then maybe see your winter quarter in a new light, and maybe get some inspiration on your goals for the next quarter as well. So first of all, what happened with my quarter? I moved in San Francisco, I got to know my roommates, I also started working, right? And then I got to know my team. I started being productive. I also got to catch up with a lot of friends. I went traveling to LA, San Diego, and Seattle. And I also worked on a lot of my goals. So a lot of things happened this quarter for me. And it was also like a pretty big transition from graduating and then going to China and then like going home, right? And then to actually start my first full-time job, that's like very different from an internship. So maybe I'll talk about that in another video. So as for what went well and what didn't go well with my goals, let's review my goals. So at the beginning of the quarter, I had 4 goals, and they had to do with singing, programming, YouTube, and money. So for singing, I wanted to master 勉强幸福 and 夜曲. For programming, I wanted to work on a singing app, and I wanted to finish a prototype. For YouTube, I wanted to post 1 YouTube video every 2 weeks, and then for money, I wanted to increase my net worth by 12K. So basically, at the end of this quarter, I have to say that I don't think I met any of these, but then I have good reason, or like good excuse. But then I also think that I set myself up so that next quarter I can actually achieve my goals. So first of all, for singing, I wanted to master these 2 songs. I did actually work on them, but I guess I got kind of lazy, and I didn't really have a system for how to approach learning these songs. So I was just kind of doing it blindly. And then also, I guess like singing the same song over and over and over, it gets like kind of boring. So that's why I didn't, but I still worked on it, so that was the progress, I guess. For my app, I didn't get to finish the prototype, but I'm almost like 80% done with like the main screen. I think for this one, it required a lot more research than I anticipated. I didn't know how to put things on the screen, and yeah, also just like there's a lot of libraries out there for music, and figuring out like which one to use and figuring out how to use each library took some time. For YouTube, so I had a goal of posting 1 video every 2 weeks, and the thing is, after like a few videos, I was like, why am I making these videos, you know? If my goal is just to post 1 video every 2 weeks, it can be good or bad, and I just feel like it's more of a chore, just like churning out these videos, and that's not the point. The point, I think, was for me to just like learn some skills and like speaking, video editing, stuff like that. But we'll go into that later. And then for money, so I wanted to make 12K, and I realized that I was just putting in my money in crypto and stocks. Aside from choosing which crypto or which stocks to invest in, my gains or losses aren't in my control. It's like, if the stock market is good, then I make 12K or 25K. If the stock market's bad or the crypto is bad, like it has been, then I lose like 1,000 or 10,000. Yeah, I didn't lose 10,000 though. I did not. Wait, I think I actually did. Anyway, so for next quarter, I think I set myself up to be in a way better position, and I think I'll actually be more productive in all aspects. So in terms of what went well and what didn't go well, I think what went well was I set the foundation for everything. Like for singing, I bought a microphone, a stand, a pop filter, and a USB interface. So basically, when I'm singing, I can now actually listen to myself in real time, and that makes a lot of difference because you actually know what you're sounding like. Because your singing voice or your talking voice isn't actually the voice the voice you hear isn't the actual voice, right? So I feel like after buying my microphone and stuff, I've become a lot more productive with my singing. For programming and video editing, I have an iMac now, and that just makes my programming and video editing a lot more productive. Also for YouTube, I had the circle light. I got a new microphone that doesn't work yet because I have to get the battery. But yeah, I just feel like all the pieces are in place now, and I have this really strong foundation that I could just work off of. And then at work, I'm getting used to the code base, getting used to the team. I kind of know what to expect. And then for my side project, I sort of did all the research and everything, and now I just have to actually make the product. So that was what went well. For what didn't go as well, I feel like I had a lot on my plate. First of all, I went traveling for 3 weekends, so those 3 weekends were just very unproductive. Also, I had a lot of friends to catch up with. So if I caught up with a friend, then that was the whole night or whatever, it was just gone, right? So I don't regret doing those things, and I think those were very important to me. So those things getting in the way of my goals, I'm okay with it. It's just that now I caught up with a lot of friends, and I also already did a good amount of traveling, that I think this quarter it's time to just buckle down and actually accomplish these goals. Aside from that, I feel I've been trying super hard at least, and I'm not a robot, so I get lazy sometimes. And I don't expect myself to accomplish all my goals and never have break and just be super productive all the time, right? So I guess it's just an iterative process, and just setting goals each quarter and monitoring how well I'm doing and seeing what went well and what didn't go well. One thing I actually played around with, which I thought really worked, was I try to wake up at 6 a.m. every day, but then I realized that it would be harder and harder for me to get up. So I was like, hey, what if I woke up with the sun? So instead of sleeping at 11 and waking up at 6, I'd sleep at 12 and wake up at 7. So I'd still be sleeping the same amount of hours, but then I'd be waking up with the sun. Another status report is, before I was trying to give myself 2 weeks per task. So 2 weeks for singing, 2 weeks for YouTube, 2 weeks for side project or whatever. And then I realized that I sort of wanted to do almost everything, and 2 weeks of one thing seemed like too much time for one thing, and then 2 weeks without doing the other things seemed like too long of not doing that thing. So then I'm actually just doing 1 week sprints now, and I think that's been working really well. So maybe you can try doing just 1 week sprints as well. So for the next quarter, I tweaked my goals a little, and let's just get into that. So I'm still doing singing. This quarter I wanted to master 5 songs and do all the level 1 stuff. So tone, pitch, singing notes to the end. I think that's possible, even though I want to master 5 songs instead of 2 songs. I think it's possible because I already started working on 2 songs, and then I also have the equipment now, just hit the ground running. For YouTube, instead of just putting a video out every 2 weeks, I wanted to improve on speaking. So the focus is less on churning out videos every 2 weeks, but just working on speaking, different parts of speaking, so maybe I could tell a story better or something, and that will probably translate into higher quality videos too. And at the end of it, probably I'm gonna have the video anyway to show for the progress of the 2 weeks. So I think my goal is still to put out a video every 2 weeks, but the focus is more on the presentation and the speaking, and less on just putting out the video. For side projects, I want to actually make a prototype of the app now. Like I said, I sort of prototyped the main screen 80%, but I want to actually have an app that I can put on the App Store, having a login page, the flow of the app, maybe settings, stuff like that. And then instead of money, this quarter I wanted to work on work. I settled in, I got comfortable, and now I have the foundation that I can like accelerate. I probably said that already, but this quarter for work, I want to become an expert on protocols in Swift, and then I also want to get onto the level of my mentor. So I don't know how possible that is because my mentor is pretty good. But yeah, so that's pretty much this quarter. I feel like this was a growing quarter or a foundation quarter, and the next quarter is the actual like growth quarter. So I'm really excited for that, and hopefully I accomplish my goals this quarter. And yeah, anyway, for you, I would say think about your quarter, think about what went well, think about your goals if you had any. If you didn't meet goals for spring quarter, think about also like what you can optimize on. Like for me, I noticed that waking up later actually made me more productive, or shortening my sprints to 1 week made me productive. Yeah, and hopefully that sort of inspires you. You know, like I'm on my journey, and I hope that everyone else watching is also on their journey and trying to make the most out of their life. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.